Our second intervention strategy is harm reduction. So harm reduction, and I feel like this one might be the one that is the most known of the 4 intervention strategies of the Blueprint for Action, as it's becoming more and more popular right now, and popular in a good way, obviously. So really, harm reduction aims to reduce the potential and social health harms without promoting or requiring non-use or abstinence. We really want to go away from that abstinence-based approach, or at least, obviously, abstinence is probably the best way, right, to prevent any harms, but it's not the best way to promote a healthy living, because we know that youth will still do it anyway. We have to acknowledge that youth will try it, they will find a way, and even that's by saying don't do it might make it seem more attractive. So instead, let's acknowledge that they might try it, that they might use substances in general, and create a space, create foundation where they can do it in a safe way. So we are trying to support healthy behavior without forcing them, and meeting people where they're at is a really important aspect here. We also celebrate small positive changes in behavior. So if we go back to our example of our friend going at parties and over drinking every time, and let's say that now we have done like some sort of intervention in class. We taught, like, you know, the risk of drinking, binge drinking, for example. Then the next weekend, our friend go to a party again, and this time though, instead of drinking a whole, bottle, 26 ounces of liquor, they decide to go with 6 beers. And they also make sure that they have a ride home. They ask for their sister or their sibling to come and pick them up. So on an abstinence perspective, our intervention in class didn't work because our friend is still drinking, right? But on a harm reduction perspective, it was really successful because we see a little change in behavior. We see that the person is trying to do safer or healthier choice regarding their consumption of alcohol, and is making small steps towards a healthy living. So it's really the same in general with other aspects about harm reduction. It's really about trying to give tools to make healthier or better choices. This might look different for people. For some people, it might be, I'm going to be drinking only on the weekend. For some others, it might be, I'm going to be drinking with only 1 drink, or I'm having the drink example here, but any substance. I'm going to use substance only once a day, have 1 cigarette per day, For other, it might be abstinence, people who are sober after many months, and that if they do consume any substance, even in a small quantity, it will go south, then maybe abstinence is good for them. And also, maybe using substance is itself a harm reduction strategy for something else. I'm thinking people who have depression, or people who have social anxiety, or suicidal thoughts, and that decide to use cannabis, because when they do use cannabis, they are more relaxed, they do not have like a panic attack, or they do not have suicidal thoughts. Maybe using cannabis for them right now is a harm reduction strategies, and we have to take that into account as well. I'm not saying it's the best one, but it's a starting point. And then after we can, by acknowledging that, we can then try to find other coping mechanism, other strategies, maybe having a therapy or whatever might be needed for that person, in order to, solve the issue. But we have to acknowledge that on a harm reduction perspective, there might be reason for that consumption itself. So yeah, harm reduction in general is really about celebrating small changes and meeting people where they're at without forcing an abstinence-based approach, which has proven many times to not be working.